All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about some cryptocurrency news. Bitcoin is going down, but it's not a problem. I'm going to explain why in this video. Also bringing you some Dogecoin news. That's right. I said it, Dogecoin. You're not going to want to miss that. So Bank of Japan governor slams Bitcoin, calls Bitcoin a speculative asset. No kidding. No, that's not shocking. Find me one central bank governor that has said, oh, we like Bitcoin. We like decentralized cryptocurrency. We want you all to have a system that puts the central banks out of business. So therefore, we're going to talk positive about it. No shit, Sherlock. Like, of course they don't like it. They're never going to like it. But it is amazing that Bitcoin price does seem to move when these when these central bank governors come out and say something negative. But ladies and gentlemen, the only reason the price moves is because the people in Bitcoin right now don't understand what's the purpose of the technology. They truly, truly don't. And they're just speculating on price, which is okay. Those of us that know how to trade cryptocurrency can make profits on the volatility. In fact, that's how that is my entire strategy, is being able to trade on volatility personally. So I get it. Ultimately, I would like to see that Bitcoin is less volatile because people understand it. They want to hold it and transact in it. And then they're just not trying to buy and sell every single day just because they want to make some short-term gains. Those of you that are watching this channel, I want you to be smarter than the average bear. So do me a favor and smash that like button if you want to be smarter than the average cryptocurrency investor. Here's a tip for you. There's two things I'm going to tell you. Every central banker comes out will dislike Bitcoin. Find me one that will ever say that they like Bitcoin. I don't know that you'll find one. And if you do, it's going to be worldwide news. You will see Bitcoin hit six figures quickly, in my personal opinion, not financial advice. But I don't think you're going to find one that's going to come out. And if you find a central banker that did say it, it's after their government's already started to adopt Bitcoin. So as long as governments are trying to hold on to the current fiat financial system, which all of them are right now. That's the entire reason for having a central bank, so you can print money and control financial fiscal policy and economic policy in your country. However, the whole purpose in Bitcoin is to prevent centralized authorities controlled by big power, big politics, and big business from controlling your money and devaluing your money and inflating your money. That's the whole reason in cryptocurrency. So expect every central banker to come out and be negative. Just expect that. Now, there's something else that comes out in this article. He says, oh, cryptocurrency, where's it at? It's down here somewhere. He says, oh, you're going to lose all of your money. Here it is. Crypto investors were liable to lose all of their money. However, the funny thing about that is, according to Plan B, who created the stock-to-flow ratio, which is a chart and a ratio that I like to look at periodically, he sent out this tweet, which, I mean, it's not according to him, it's according to the facts of the market. But he sent out this tweet that said, basically, nobody who bought Bitcoin and hodled for 4+ years ever lost money, ever, in all caps, ever. Now, here's what you need to understand. Do you think that this Andrew Bailey, governor of the Bank of England, do you think he knew that when he tweeted that out? Of course he did. That's disingenuous. It lacks integrity. So why would he do it? Because he wants to discredit it. He's trying to hold on to his power, his authority as a central banker. And you can just expect that. Now, they'll also come out, they talk about the volatility. Bank of Japan's governor criticism comes as Bitcoin experienced over 50% drawdown. He said most of the trading is speculative and volatility is extraordinarily high. It is barely used as a means of settlement. So according to him, he was arguing against a value proposition of Bitcoin in the first place. Let's talk about the value proposition of a decentralized cryptocurrency versus the value proposition of a currency that can get printed in near unlimited supply on demand of politicians that can serve big banks, big businesses, and big political donors. That's a current fiat system that we have. That's not very much of a value proposition, if you ask me, not for the average person like you and I. Let's talk about the value proposition of Bitcoin. Decentralized, fully transparent, trustless, permissionless cryptocurrency that cannot be inflated or controlled by any one single authority. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an enormous value proposition. And if you agree with me, smash that like button. Every single time that you can set your clock to this. If you're one of my viewers on my channel, I want you to be smarter than the average cryptocurrency investor that exists out there today. And here's something I'm going to tell you that you can set, having been through at least 2 bear markets as an investor, not just an observer. As an investor, I can tell you something that you can literally set your clock to. As soon as there's a bear market starts, or as soon as there's a strong pullback in Bitcoin, you will always have these elites that want to hold on to the current financial system, this legacy financial system that is under enormous pressure, that's ultimately going to crack, I believe, and crumble. But these people who want to protect this, long-standing legacy financial system, every single time Bitcoin pulls back, they're going to claim it's too volatile. It's never going to work. And they always jump on that volatility bandwagon. They only do that, of course, when the price pulls back. They also complain about how it hurts people. They don't say that when the price is going up. They always do it on that price pullback because they know that in order for that price to pull back sharply, somebody sold too soon. They understand that. And so there's plenty of people that might be hurt, and they're trying to appeal to that sentiment. But you can just set your clock to when you see the price pull back, start expecting to see news articles. It's too volatile. It's not going to work. It's too volatile. It hurts people. That's what they're going to say. But listen, you always look at the source of who's talking, because check this out. This is bigger news. This is much bigger news. And this is much more important. Carl Icahn has come out. If you don't know who Carl Icahn is, he's a billionaire. He's a hedge fund investor. This is huge, and I'll tell you why this is huge. Carl Icahn used to be negative on cryptocurrency. He used, at one point in time, he was a skeptic. He was a critic. And now he's saying that he's eyeing a potential $1.5 billion crypto investment. That's enormous. This is someone saying, hey, I didn't believe in this technology. I didn't believe in it at first, but now I'm looking at it and I'm seeing possible potential here. And I'll share with you one that's bigger than this. I mean, much bigger. This next guy has literally wrote the book when it comes to macroeconomics around the world and inflation. And that's Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is an incredible man, incredible author. When I say incredible man, I'm talking about his intellect and how he talks about the market. He's got a website. He just puts up free content, and he really just talks about the macroeconomics around the world. Also, a very successful billionaire hedge fund manager who makes his living investing around the world in macroeconomic trends. He's very aware of inflation, but he's also been very skeptical for a long time of Bitcoin. And in this article, he also discusses why central bankers don't like Bitcoin. And it's a pretty short article, so I'm going to go through it here, and then we're going to move into some news about Dogecoin. You're not going to want to miss that. So though billionaire investor Ray Dalio, founder of the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, has previously expressed concern about the future of Bitcoin. I've talked about that on this channel. He's also noted that the cryptocurrency earned his respect. This is important. When people can come out and say, hey, crypto's earned my respect, that's someone you kind of want to pay attention to, particularly if they had a reason, if they had a strong opinion against Bitcoin and then they're willing to be open-minded and reverse that opinion. I mean, there's a certain level of integrity in that thought process that you've got to appreciate. Now he reveals, I have some Bitcoin. Ray Dalio told CoinDesk during his 2021 consensus conference. The interview was recorded on May 6th and published on Monday. But Dalio maintains that cryptocurrency still faces risk. It faces enormous risk, ladies and gentlemen. And I love what he says right here because I couldn't agree with it more. Bitcoin's greatest risk is its success, he said. And if it succeeds, one of the great things I think as a worry is a government having the capacity to control Bitcoin or the digital currencies. They know where they are and they know what's going on, he said. So this is important. He's not saying they can stop the technology. He's worried about their attempt to control the technology or their attempt to regulate the technology and what that's going to look like. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have said since I have been on YouTube, I am concerned about government regulations. When there's other YouTubers saying, oh, we can't wait for regulations. We need good regulations. I've always said I've been concerned about regulations because I understand that the regulations are written and created and shaped by people like these central bankers who don't like cryptocurrency. So I've always been concerned about regulations. And here, Ray Dalio is saying the exact same thing. The more we create savings in Bitcoin, the more you might say, I would rather have Bitcoin than the bond. That's incredible. He goes on to say, personally, I would rather have Bitcoin than a bond. And the more that happens, then it goes into Bitcoin and it doesn't go into credit. And the governments lose control of that. Understand, central banks, and this is why governments don't want Bitcoin to succeed. There's not one government on the planet of a developed country that wants Bitcoin to succeed. Why? Because if Bitcoin succeeds, it's possible people stop buying things like in the U.S. Treasury bonds, Treasury yields. If they don't buy Treasury bonds, by buying Treasury bonds and earning those Treasury yields, what you're doing is essentially loaning the government money. If you're not lending the government money through buying treasury bonds, inflation can speed up if governments don't stop spending. It's a very real problem. This is why governments don't want Bitcoin to exist, because you can't create a treasury bond around a Bitcoin. You have to create it, well, in the U.S. In the U.S., you can't pay back your treasury notes. You can create a treasury bond around a cryptocurrency. But the way the U.S. pays back their loans is by printing more money. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but the U.S. government specifically pays back their debt by printing more money. We do not have enough tax revenue to cover our debts. And that's where inflation comes from. And that's why inflation is getting faster and faster. Consumer prices went up over 4% just last month alone. Expect that to get a lot worse. So when you see Dalio coming out saying that, hey, I prefer Bitcoin over bond, that's bad news for governments. It eventually could be some difficult news for Bitcoin because it could lead to some regulations, some unfriendly regulations. But that is huge. This is huge. This is a man who just a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I was watching an in-depth interview about him. He's talking about the problems with the current economic system. He's talking about inflation. And then someone says, what about Bitcoin? Because I was watching it on a crypto-based channel. And he said, well, my problem with Bitcoin is, and he goes into all these issues. He made the same argument about what's the intrinsic value and all this stuff. And yet now he's coming out saying, hey, I'm open-minded. I've changed my mind. I own Bitcoin. And I would rather own Bitcoin than own a bond. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're grasping how enormous that is. I get that most channels aren't going to make a big deal about this, but I want you to understand that is huge news for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is dropping because of the Bank of Japan, for me, this is a buying opportunity all day long. Not financial advice, just my opinion. Now, I want to say this quickly. If you love learning about cryptocurrency, you love earning passive income with cryptocurrency, go down in the description, click the link to subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. You'll come here and subscribe. I've got some new content coming out for our Crypto Passive Profits members. I've got some content where I'm going to talk about trading and earning a passive income through trading. So make certain that you go subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits newsletters. Now, let's talk about Dogecoin. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this. So Elon Musk and Mark Cuban are pushing Dogecoin for payments, and BitPay data backs them up. So I found this very interesting. I want to go through this article and then I'll tell you my thoughts. Dogecoin has ballooned to nearly 13% of BitPay's transaction volume and is fourth most popular payment option. I did not know this, by the way. I think that's huge news. Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, two of Dogecoin's most famous fans, have been publicly pushing the idea that meme token is becoming a legitimate utility for payment. Musk has been talking to Dogecoin developers as he tweeted, and Decrypt reported in depth about how to make the coin faster for everyday payments. Dogecoin developer Ross Nickel told Decrypt that Musk's aim is to make Dogecoin easy enough to use for a cup of coffee. Cuban, meanwhile, said earlier this month at the Ethereal Virtual Summit powered by Decrypt that Dogecoin is becoming more of a utility in terms of a currency. Cuban added that he's been talking to BitPay a lot and that cryptocurrency payment provider was in the process of onboarding more vendors to accept the coin. People are popping up all the time to be retailers or merchants for Dogecoin, he said. The premise sounds absurd to many since Dogecoin was created in 2013 purely as a joke, and his GitHub code page was stagnant for years. But BitPay data backs up Cuban's big talk about Doge catching on for payments. All right, before I comment on that, let's go over here one more. Social media firm HelloPow acquires Dogecoin mining outfit for $3.5 million. So Dogecoin earns more attention as Canadian company HelloPow acquires Doge miner CryptoPow technology for $3.5 million. In brief, we'll just stop right here. HelloPow acquired Dogecoin and Litecoin miner CryptoPow. The firm says it's the first publicly listed entity with primary exposure to Dogecoin. So this is crazy to me, and I'm about to pull a Ray Dalio. I have been negative on Dogecoin from the beginning. It was created literally as a joke. But let's just set that aside for a minute. What is Dogecoin? Dogecoin is essentially another Litecoin. If you don't know about Litecoin, Litecoin is a little bit faster and easier to transact than Bitcoin. Dogecoin and Bitcoin have, I want to say they have a lot of similarities, but they, compared to other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, they have a lot more similarities. Dogecoin definitely is very similar to Litecoin. Dogecoin has a unlimited supply, but the supply is more difficult to mine over time. But at the end of the day, it is a decentralized blockchain, very similar to Bitcoin. Why does Bitcoin have value? Because it's permissionless, it's trustless, and there's a community to use it. And by and large, it's a community that believes in it. The holders, the people willing to mine it, that actually matter. The fact that Dogecoin has built a community an enormous community. So much so that people are actually looking to make payments with Dogecoin, and there's merchants willing to take Dogecoin. I finally come to the place that I'm not buying Dogecoin today, but I'm taking it a lot more serious. And I can't even believe that I'm saying that. I've talked crap about Dogecoin on this channel, but I'm going to take it a lot more serious. In fact, I've started trading it because it's highly volatile. Now, I'm not buying it, I'm not holding it, but I've started trading it. And because I started looking at the chart, I thought this is just too volatile not to trade. There's a lot of opportunity here. And I really was afraid there would be a flash in the pan and it would be gone. Now, here's my biggest, and I would love to get your feedback down in the comments on this, but here's my biggest risk, or here's my biggest concern about Dogecoin. And I've got other investments that I am holding. I actually made 3 investments today. I'll talk about that in a moment. 3 brand new investments that are going to be longer term holds, like 2 to 5 year holds for me. But we'll get to that in a minute. So for me though, Dogecoin, it has community. It's a decentralized cryptocurrency. So, I mean, yeah, it started as a joke. It started as a joke, but there's a community around it now. It's kind of weird. There's a dog on it. I mean, my biggest fear really is that SEC comes after, the SEC ends up coming after Elon for some of his tweets, which I don't necessarily agree that the FCC should be able to do that, just personal opinion. However, I do believe that they're going to go after Elon Musk for his tweets related to Dogecoin. We'll wait and see what happens on that. I don't have any inside information. I'm just telling you I believe that's going to happen. But here's the thing. I'm beginning to think it's not going to matter. In fact, I'm beginning to think that the community is going to get behind it no matter what. And there may be people, I mean, there are always people who hear about Dogecoin around the water cooler and they buy some and it drops 10%, they sell it. Or it goes up 10%, they get excited and they buy a little more, then it drops 10%, they sell it again. So there's always going to be those types of people. That's going to happen. But there's going to be those people who are diehard fans of this stuff. And I think the diehard fans are growing, and the more people are able to actually use it with things like BitPay, and you know, Elon Musk is behind it, so is Mark Cuban, and there's a community behind it. Listen, I think if we're in crypto, and if you've been around a while and you kind of turn your nose up at Dogecoin, I think you have to be open-minded to at least see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, the community speaks. Do I think it's going to flip Bitcoin? No. But do I think it could coexist in a cryptocurrency ecosystem? Sure. Kind of like silver and gold can coexist in the precious metals market. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe I'm totally wrong on this, but at the end of the day, I've learned something about cryptocurrency. There's 2 things that matter more than technology, and that is marketing and community. And Doge has it in spades, and the technology is a decentralized blockchain. Tell me where I'm wrong down in the comments. Now, I want to say this as well. I told you I made 3 investments. I'm going to be putting up, if you go down in the comments and you subscribe, if you not subscribe, but if you go down the comments and you see our Linktree link and you check out our Crypto Passive Profits membership, I'm actually putting up a video. I put up a video talking about my #1 pick on May 17th. That is still my #1 pick. It's in pre-launch right now. But I've got 3 investments that I made today that are going to be 2 to 5 year picks for me as well. And meaning 2 to 5 year holds for me as well. I kind of want to see where they go. My current plans today is to hold them for 2 to 5 years. I'm going to be sharing that. And as soon as I get done here, I'm going to be uploading a video to our Crypto Passive Profits community, our Subscribe Star community, and I'm going to be sharing that information as well. If you want more information about that, go down to the comments, click on subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits membership. Join us over there. Look forward to seeing you on the inside. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Bitcoin? What do you think about the news today? What do you think about the Bank of Japan and these central bankers complaining about Bitcoin? What do you think about Carl Icahn and Ray Dalio basically coming around saying, hey, maybe I was wrong about Bitcoin? What do you think about me saying I was wrong about Dogecoin? I want to hear from you down in the comments. I read the comments and I will reply. Smash that like button. Ladies and gentlemen, decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.